Okay, I want to thank everyone for coming. And if we could take a quorum count. Jenna Weiss. Oh, microphone.
Hello. Jenna Wise, present.
Selena.
Present.
Mary Ellen.
Present.
Anne.
Present.
Mike.
Present.
Valerie.
Present.
John.
Present.
Great. And the only ones we're missing is Jennifer Savage.
She just texted me that she's coming. She's almost here.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so now if there's no confusion, is Mike Clark here? No. Okay. I'm sorry, Mike Lewis. Mike Lewis, because we have to, yeah, I'm sorry. We have to come back to set a meeting. Yes, thank you. We have to come back to set a meeting date, and there was confusion last month, so we're going to make it very clear this month. I feel really bad. Stephanie Sarkis came here last night, and she's coming back today through the foundation, but she said that she texted me the parking lot was dark, so I'll make sure that we really get it right this time. I apologize.
And Bonnie, just a reminder, the planning board meeting, I assume we would try to go.
Yeah.
So we have to plan around that.
Yes, thanks. It's
Yeah.
at the very end.
Yeah.
If we
No, I meant our date for
Yes.
this meeting.
want to go there.
Correct. I got it.
Okay, so approval of the minutes, July 13th, 2023. Do I have a approval?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from July.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Great. Can we have Ken Gilman? Facilities, as long as he's here.
As long as I'm here. I'd like to point out that there is a new mailbox for the library installed today. I believe you can't. All right, now I'm sure you can hear me. So I will repeat. There's a new mailbox for the library that was installed today. I was going to talk very briefly about the fence, but I guess Jennifer's going to have an update on that later on. I just noticed in the minutes of the meeting. And also there was a leak out front from the roof, and Mike, the general contractor, handyman, made some repairs and is once again saying that he thinks everything is fine now. So we'll go with everything is fine now until perhaps there's another leak. I don't think there should be, but he thinks that maybe, again, the old shingled roof may need to have a better look at. With all the rain that we've had this year, we haven't had a whole lot of leaking. So what possibly happened last week or the week before was just wind was blowing the wrong way. And that's all really I have right now.
This was Mike from Mac, that right? Mike from
Yes.
Mac. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome. Mike Kalari, I believe his last name is.
Did our mailbox get smashed? Is that why we needed one?
I can't tell you how old it was, but when the lid came down, one of the things that held it was broken.
Mhm.
So it's probably, it came, a little bit of weight was put on it. And it broke and it couldn't be repaired. So
Great. Does anyone have any questions for Ken? No, thank you, Ken.
thank you.
Am I correct, Mike? It's Mike Lewis here or no? Okay, so why don't we jump right into finance, John?
The only update would be we are going to sign up the investment advisor. It's Westchester Certified Financial Advisors. We just have to get some documentation over to him. He was going to present, but he was busy tonight. So trying to get him on for next month. So we should be all set for that transfer. Yeah, good. Like,
And that's the new financial advisor we voted on last meeting. Okay.
Correct. That's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, John. Okay, moving right along, Michael Clark, Collection Management Policy Governance.
Okay, thank you. I think it was at last meeting that we were very busy, and we were presented with the collection management policy. So we deferred it to this meeting. It was in the Dropbox, and then I sent it around to everybody. So I hope you've had a chance to review it. I think it's very, very comprehensive. Jennifer, thank you for putting it all together. I'd like us to vote on this policy tonight to get it into our onto the website and as our policies. If you had as a chance to review, any people have any questions about it?
I guess my question is this is like a template, like for other libraries, and then we made our own changes in the appendixes? Is that what we did?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
It's pretty standardized, and I think it covers, several of the library issues of the day.
So I have a question. In Appendix A, the fourth paragraph down, it said books and materials are selected which provide borrowers with information about themselves. I guess I didn't know does that mean our heritage? I didn't know what that meant. Okay.
Yes, that's a very good way to interpret it.
Okay.
But I think what also is explained very well in there is the process of winnowing, which is also a very important process for the library as well. So I'm calling for a motion to approve the collection management policy.
I make a motion that we approve the collection management policy submitted to today's meeting, August 23rd, 2023.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you very much, Mike. Public Relations, Jenna Weiss.
So no updates today. We'll discuss some things in executive session. But the record review supplement, the education back to school supplement, you saw our ad. Yeah, we're very pleased with it. Reno and Jennifer did a great job designing it, and already have some new ideas for next time around on how we can improve and make it pop even more. So thank you for the support. Oh, yes. Yes, she did.
Thank you, Jenna. Okay, next, Selena, program development.
No big updates. We've been talking a little bit about the budget, which Jennifer has been putting together, and we've all reviewed and spoke about some of the adult classes. We need to make a few adjustments. But other than that, not a ton of new updates. We do have some ideas for other types of one-off programming related to just what we're hearing in the community for some interests. So yeah.
I did have one question from a patron.
Mhm.
SAT, ACT, I guess, do we have that in our curriculum in September,
We do.
this
Yeah.
fall? Okay. Okay.
As I said in my report, I'm in talks with Emmy, my contact at Princeton Review, and we're talking about scheduling for the fall/early winter. We just had a test this past Saturday. We had 3 kids.
Yeah, she missed the Saturday. I'm asking if there's going to be ones in the fall.
We're in talks, Bonnie.
Okay, great, thank you. Because I guess it's a big week, it's a big vacation week. Okay, anything else?
While I'm thinking of it, just 2 things. On our agenda, can we add something like comments at the end, like if we, or do we just, as we bring things up, like new business? I don't know, is something like that. Because I think that there are times that we, like from one meeting to the next, maybe we thought of something that we could bring up that doesn't have to be in the executive session. That's just something we just
Well,
want
can
to
only
run by
executive session
each
be-
other. but it's not legal or HR, just, and that might not have anything even to do with the committees.
We could put, we could put before public remarks, we could put new business.
Okay, that's what I
Okay.
was thinking. All right,
But in executive session, we can only talk about legal and human resources.
right. But then just correct me if I'm wrong. I was speaking to someone over the weekend who told me that that colleges don't even look at SAT scores anymore. Is that true?
Most schools are now test optional, but not all
Was it you who?
schools.
I don't
No,
know.
but
Okay.
not all schools are. So,
Okay.
but many schools are test optional now.
Okay, all right, thank you. That was it.
Okay, great. Any other questions with programming? Thank you, Selena. Okay, Valerie? Human Resource-
Executive.
Executive, great. Okay, Long Ridge Planning, John?
No update.
Okay, Jennifer Savage, Children's Room Refresh? Oh,
No update.
okay, parking lot improvement, traffic study. Okay, so I passed around the traffic study. That is, the company that we hired. They had a camera. It was very hard to see anyone. They had a camera, not exactly the tree. They found the sign across the street, which I guess was better than the tree. And so there were accidents on this intersection, but they did not involve any cars coming out of the parking lot. As I said to you previously, I felt that this traffic study was positive, but they can't interpret how our planning board will interpret it. We get one free meeting. Right now, we haven't submitted anything to the planning board. They do not meet in August. They meet in September. Just to let everyone know, we are still, well, I guess my recommendation to the board would be to bring this in a informal meeting discussion in front of the planning board. Because if we do a formal, in front of the planning board, we would have to hire an engineer. We would have to submit paperwork because we would have to answer their engineer. And none of us are qualified to answer those questions. So I really feel that we should maybe bring this traffic study up to the planning board meeting in September and get their feel of what they think, how we should move forward, or maybe not move forward, or maybe they want a more intense traffic study, which would mean more costs to this library.
So I agree. And in fact, my thought too is that we spend a little bit of time, whether it's here or a small group of us, to really think through how we want to handle that informal meeting. Because ultimately the next thing that could happen is expenses. And so the more that we can be prepared, that we ask that planning board not to make us spend a significant amount. I know I can't guarantee they're going to agree with us, but to at least, get their thoughts and ideas on, once they read the traffic study, how many spots do they think would be acceptable? How many, so like come up with a bunch of questions and get them to kind of give us information so that we can make an informed decision before we start spending a lot more money.
No, I agree. We should certainly have a committee, and I think Valerie and I are on the committee already. Again, being informal, we can see where they stand. I don't, we can't read anyone's mind. I do know though that they have no control over the engineer. The engineer asks questions, a town's engineer. They are a consultant. They don't work directly for the town, but we get charged. And so when we do put in a formal application, that number is kind of nebulous. And I know with this kind of traffic study, that engineer is going to be asking us a million questions, and we will have to hire this traffic study company to answer them, because none of us are, will be able to answer. And they'll be asking questions just like they did with the driveway, sight lines. They'll be answering metric systems or feet or whatever. They'll be in-depth. The engineer will definitely, pick this traffic study apart, and that's going to be a cost. And, engineers run $200-300 an hour. I mean, that's just the price plus assistance and whatever else. So we have to take that all into consideration, but at least I think we should go informally so we don't have to, answer to a engineer and get their feel.
Or do we plan on sending them a few copies before?
Yeah,
or-
so the meeting,
yeah.
the planning board meeting submission is September 14th. There's a form to fill out. Jennifer and I can work on that together. It's easy, and I'm going to send them the traffic study. And usually I'm going to send it before September 14th. So if they need any kind of documentation, but once you get on their calendar, then Christine Durr is the secretary. I'm sure she's not called that, so I apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone, but she's the one that corresponds. She's the planning board secretary. She'll correspond with us and see if we need any more information. We'll just keep sending it PDF. If I have to, I'll, they wanted the last time, one of us can go to Staples and make the big copies and everything. That's a very nominal fee. And then the meeting is the 28th. Sometimes they make it 7 o'clock. I notice it's 7:30, but lots of times they make it 7. So when they send the agenda, if they have a lot of people on it, and I think they will, because it's 7 o'clock. They changed the meeting. It's 7 o'clock. The fire department is on, so it will be a long meeting. I will tell you how it goes. It's not like we can skip the line. We will be informal, so we'll be at the very end of the meeting, because they do old business first and then new business. And it goes by when you get your application in, they do not deviate from that. But we're on the bottom. So that's just to give you a reference. And as you saw from the last meeting, not everyone shows up. So sometimes these meetings go quickly, but because they didn't have an August meeting, there'll be a lot of applications.
What do we think would be the best case scenario at this point?
I can't read their minds.
What do
I
we
don't
want to
know.
be the best case scenario, I guess? What
So
is
but that's the discussion I think we should have. And I get, we're going to have a small committee that will prep for that meeting. But I think it's important as a board that folks at least share their view. Let's ignore cost for a moment because we don't know what the cost is going to be, but to at least go maybe around the room and get people to give their views of what you would like, so that we, just each have each other's thoughts in their mind as we move forward. It doesn't, at the end, at some point, we're gonna have to vote on all sorts of stuff, but that'll be a while from now. So that's my thought.
Yeah, keep in mind, I think our meeting in September will definitely be before the
Yes,
28th.
it will be.
And we will get the material to the planning board before the 14th. So we'll have the advantage of the next meeting. I'll see what the planning board has come back to us and see what information they need. And you can sometimes see where they're going based on the information that they're requesting from us.
So I'll start if you want, giving my views. Since no one else jumped in, I think there's no question we need more parking. I don't think we're going to get any of the large number of spots from the planning board that we originally asked for. I could think my view is I would love to be able to add, I'll make up a number, 20 to 30. But I think the problem is sometimes the cost, it's not cost per spot based on whatever we have to do. And so, it could be the same amount of expense as if we added 60 spots, right? But to me, there's no question we need spots. There's a financial issue, obviously, but I don't see how we continue to do some of the stuff we want to do programmatically here without trying to get more spots.
I mean, I agree. I do think that not to throw them under the bus, but I think some of our neighbors will definitely be at that meeting. And it was a public meeting. As anyone heard from the last meeting, our neighbors have been very vocal, and I do think that they're going to continue to be vocal. And when you have neighbors that are vocal, they have a responsibility, the planning board, to listen to those neighbors and to give us their feedback and to ask us for more, either privacy screening or more landscaping plans or architectural plans. So, I do think that's going to also affect us.
Just my initial thoughts. I don't have a number in terms of parking spots. Based on what happened last year, one of our major considerations has to be safety. We have a lot of children's programs, and there was several situations last year that could have led to significant problems. So whatever the number ends up being, I hope it's also a safe number.
As a cliche, being the CPA here, I think the cost is something that's going to need to be addressed sooner than later. It's gut check time. So if we don't have the financing, we're not going to keep exploring this, which means it's either coming from us or someone else, probably somebody else. So we need to get some commitments on that side, because the admin surcharge that goes along with this is so high the actual dollars, you can't wait until the end for the actual dollars, right? There's got to be, I mean, I don't know what it would be, 30, 40%, 50% surcharge just to get this through. We can't even bear that cost. So if this project is going to stay alive, we're going to have to get some commitments probably from the outside to explore it, put some money at risk, do something in order for this to keep going forward. Because it's going to get to the distraction phase. And then we're just going to kind of go sideways if we're just waiting for, money to fall out of the sky on this. So I don't have a date. I don't have a number, but it's coming soon though, where we're going to need some real formal commitments. So if that's a shift of what we need to focus on, that's something to think about.
Totally agree. But I mean, at this point, we spent an awful lot of money in the interior renovation and other things. And, you see the budget, we really spent a lot. Yes, we're going to need some financial help.
Right, so maybe we do have to shift our focus to figure out what that number is, because in order to try to maybe go to other people for that money, we need the number, and we need to know what the number is going to give us. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to go in there. But so I 100% agree with what John is saying, but I also agree with everyone else that we desperately need more parking here. And if we want to continue to provide the community what they want and what they need, it's something we really have to give another shot at trying to figure out.
Well, that's why I think if we go, again, it's not really going to cost us any money except time. We've already done the traffic study, so we did spend some money. We're not going to call them in for this meeting, and we're going to get a real sense of what the planning board wants and what they would need if we wanted to progress forward. And let's face it, if they want to give us 5 spots, then we're going to have to come back here and really see if that's, cost of return on investment. And we're going to have to decide that if they're willing to give us maybe 50 spots, but if they're willing to give us 5, 10 spots, I could tell you where I'm going to lean on that. So we really have to, I think we have to really see where they're coming from.
And I would just add, depending on that answer, we may not be able to expand what we want to do. So the community can want a lot, and we want to deliver everything we can, but at some point there's a limit for safety and other reasons. And we can't add programs. There's a lot of things we could do, but if we don't have the space, we just can't do it.
Exactly. I think the traffic study, again, the company, I spoke to Brian, he said it can go either way with us. There were accidents, no doubt it's a very black and white study. He said that if he's called on the planning board, he's going to say they saw a lot of near misses. Let's face it, they saw a lot of people on the cameras missing the stop signs and everything. That had nothing to do with our parking lot per se. But on the other hand, the planning board might ask him that, the traffic study. So that's all nebulous that we can't answer. The other thing is that the planning board might just to move or expand out coming in and out, or egress and egress, but that is a state road. And that's something that financially, I'm going to tell you right now, that's going down a big financial. Yes. Well, the state's the one that gave the information. We're going to put it as soon as we have this discussion. I'm going to ask Jennifer to put it on our website. I've given you the traffic study. The planning board will have the traffic study, and we'll go from there. And this way, everyone can analyze it.
Think the traffic study, given that it shows that there were a lot of near misses, I think that in and of itself should be enough to go to the state and say, look, we need some safety parameters here instead of waiting for the 3 fatalities per year.
Well, that's how New York State operates. We can't change their parameters. New York State, the only way they change traffic circles or traffic, whatever, is they have to have, we don't meet the criteria. They only had 2 crashes, I guess, in the study, not 3. And so that's New York State.
But that was for how much time? I mean,
it was over a year.
Oh, it was over a year.
So it's up here. And the other thing is like, it doesn't say there were near misses, but if they're called in front of the planning board, they did have a camera. And so they would have to divulge that information, but it's not in their traffic study. just because it wasn't involved, no one was pulling in and out of our driveway. But, you know, we have to see what the plan, maybe they accept this and say, okay, there were no cars coming in and out that were involved in any of these accidents. But to get the state involved, that's something that your senators and, I'm sorry?
At the last planning board meeting that we were at, Christine Stir shared that they were going to try to get grants or funding on certain intersections in town, and that was one of the intersections. I don't know that they'll be successful, but
Yeah.
that was what the town was
There's
doing.
grants out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we even qualify. And I haven't heard anything. I watch the town board meetings sometimes. There's not even, you know, nothing in there. So who knows?
Also candidly, as always, I do think it kind of behooves us to like stick to some talking points. And I do think that we should get together to nail those. You know, two kind of stick out for me. One, we did what was asked of us officially. And two, I think we really need to keep the conversation focused on where the library is today, which is here, not elsewhere.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
so happy, yeah, I think if we can just go in, like, if we can open up telling the story that we want to tell, and we can work on that a little bit before. And, you know, I know we all have good memories, but they see a lot of cases. I think it would just help ground the conversation.
yeah. So,
If we can pre-mate.
so now that I think we all, are we all in agreement that we should go in front of the planning board? Okay, mark your calendars, please.
Yes.
It's September 28th. Jennifer, if you could put the traffic study on the website, that would be great. The 14th is submission of paperwork. The 28th is the actual planning board meeting. It starts at 7. I will send everyone the agenda, including Stephanie. And we'll see where we fall on the agenda. But remember, we're going to be at the end no matter what. And let's do it
That's a
formal.
Thursday, just September 28th.
Yeah, and so, prior to that, after we hand in the information, and I'm gonna work with Jennifer, we're gonna get it in before the 14th. Put Jenna Weiss, I know myself, Valerie, and anyone else, I'll send out a blanket email. We'll come up with a date, us 3, and time, and then we'll ask anyone who wants to get involved. Okay, September 28th. Okay, great. So that's the parking lot, the never-ending saga parking lot. Okay, moving right along, OEM warming site, there's nothing happening. Technology, Mike Clark,
No update.
vendor contract review, no update. And now we circle back to Mike Lewis, but before your report, the meeting next week. Now Selena had a good suggestion, and I kind of feel it's good that we try to keep it to like a Tuesday or a Wednesday every month. But there are Jewish holidays. I mean, you can have a meeting without me, but there are Jewish holidays next month.
Mhm.
Oh, you're. Okay. So the holiday, okay, is at the end. It's the 26th 25th Yom Kippur, so I'm okay. The week prior. That Tuesday, the 19th or the 20th, does that work for everyone? Yeah,
Thank you for reminding
that's
us,
right.
right?
the 20th?
20th works for me.
All right, my husband's traveling. I'm gonna have to coordinate childcare. Put me as a strong maybe.
Okay.
Please.
Anyone have a conflict besides Jenna? Mike,
I think I'll be fine.
Alan? You're good? Okay, Jennifer, is it okay if we do the meeting without Alan? Yeah, that's fine, Alan. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So let's do the 20th. Sorry, Stephanie, the 20th. We made it very clear now. Okay, Mike Lewis?
Okay, how you guys doing? We'll go over the balance sheet comparison as of obviously July 31st of 23. You'll see that the total bank account cash balance is 1.2 million, down about 500,000 from from last year at this time. And that's pretty much what we just talked about, the investment in the parking lot and you know, and the interior decorations from last year and renovations from last year. So that makes up the bulk of that. The accounts receivable, that's flat. The prepaid is flat. Those get adjusted towards the end of the year. And in regards to the assets, the other assets, those are our Schwab accounts. With the market slash cash sweep accounts, 767,000, slightly down from the year prior at 791. But again, it's just, those are just market values. So what the total assets is shy of $2 million. Then you have your accounts payable, 4,500 versus 5,900 from the prior year, the immaterial. You got the security deposit from the tenant for 5,200, and then you have the bookkeeping entry with the deferred tax levy goes down $64,000 per month. That's more for just the revenue recognition. That'll go away towards the end of the year. If you flip to the second page of the balance sheet, this is just the total equity. The total equity, which is the beginning fund balance, plus or minus the net income, which right now we're at year to date, 107,000 in the negative. But again, that's because of the capital improvements that we're doing. So that's 1.9 million. So that's the balance sheet. Is there any questions on?
I'm never sure where exactly. So let me just give you a quick update in terms of if you look at the first page, the account information. I had a conversation with Heidi about covering payroll, et cetera. And so what happened on August 16th is that I transferred $60,000 from the savings to the checking, and she's been writing some checks since then. So as of tonight, our checking account balance is $55,656, and our savings account is $890,067.25. And I've given that information to the secretary for the minutes. The key bank information stays the same. We're not moving any money. I'll make one comment, which is that our switch to the Chase Bank, they have very, very low savings account interest rates. So my plan is to move $350,000 to buy a CD, which comes out at the interest rate, I think, is 4.37. And I'll do that tomorrow after I got the signatures tonight.
Is that a 12-month?
That's a 90-day.
Oh, okay.
My question is, the signature 1096, we have a negative 300.
Yes, I think that's an outstanding check. I just wanted to double check that with
Okay,
Kristen. I mean, not Kristen, I'm sorry, Heidi.
Heidi.
I was just talking to Kristen before. Different person. Yes, it's a check that's being reissued in Chase. All right, yeah, I think it's taken care of.
Okay,
You won't see that in the next month.
okay, the profit and loss,
I'm sorry?
the profit and loss.
Yep, go right to the profit and loss. There's no questions on that. So total income, as you can see, comprised of obviously our investment income, our gains and losses on the Schwab accounts, 7 months worth of tax levy that we've recognized. Now you'll see, obviously, you see the passport income, you see the interest income, and the cottage rental. With all that said, yields a total income of 520,993 through July 31st, up 35,000 from the year prior, which was 485,000. And clearly it's, full occupancy of, the college rent, of the cottage rent, and all these gains and losses on the Schwab accounts. And of course, the interest income. Those are your main drivers.
Yeah, what's the interest income from?
From the
6910.
interest income is from these bank accounts.
Okay, we made $16,000 so
So
far
far,
this year.
yeah.
January to July.
Yeah.
But last year we only made from January to July 3,500.
Correct.
Okay,
Because the interest rates are
okay,
significantly higher
it's a
and
big difference. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So-
Sorry.
they probably would have been higher if we if we didn't spend all the money in the renovations, but then you have obviously you have the all the library services, all the 8,000 accounts. If you go to the second page, pretty consistent with if you look at the top, it's pretty consistent with the year prior, up 7,500. Total was 69,748. So you could see, obviously, if you flip back to that first page, you'll see the ins and the outs, but relatively consistent and flat.
It's a budget / projection question. So Jennifer, looking at the budget, when you have the 23 projected, is that like annualizing what we've done through 7 months? Is that how we did it? Okay. Okay, thanks.
Was that for a specific, I just want, was that for a specific line or you were just in general? Because sometimes that formula, as I was explaining, to the board and
Yeah, if we
Jennifer.
miss a seasonal thing that happens in 1 month, then
Yeah.
you're not picking it up.
Correct.
It was just eyeballing this versus what I see. So
Okay.
children's programming, biggest kind of increase, which I think is great because we have all the demand for it. So I just wanted to kind of compare that, what we've been spending here. And quite honestly, is it enough what we have budget for 24?
We'll get to it when we get to the budgets, but when we added a fourth musical session, we went from 23,400 per year to 31,200 per year. So that was a significant jump, and we can discuss that further as well.
Okay.
Thank you. The office G&A, 84,000 versus 64,000, obviously up 20,000, but you'll see the two increases is the professional consultants. That's our audit fee for and then in regards to the equipment purchase, that went up 7,700. So those make up the bulk of that change. And we probably, I don't remember when we paid the auditors. We probably paid them, next month at this time last year. So that'll all even out. Then you have your properties and grounds. Actually down 18,500 from the prior year, but you could pretty much see the flip flop. You have $176,000 invested in the parking lot project, and you had 157,000 invested in the interior renovations from last year. So, but it, like I said, it was still down cumulatively 18,005. Then you have the salaries and the benefits. You flip to the next page, slightly up, 171,700 compared to 162,200. That's just obviously filling the positions and the fringes that are associated with that. Technology up 10,000, but again, I think that's just the timing of the bills.
Yeah, what's other technology? WLS.
It's Dana Ciatola and several of the others. I've got a drill down. I can bring it up for you when we get to the budget, if you like, or now.
Utilities are $101 up, so that's pretty level. So with that said, the net loss cumulatively is 107,450, but again, that's due to the investment, obviously, in the parking lot. That drives pretty much the number. That's it for the profit and loss. And
Great. Does anyone have any questions?
Yep.
No, we should go on to the warrants. Did everyone have a chance to look over the warrants? Any questions on the warrants? Any questions? Are there any changes? Sometimes Heidi has the last minute change, or is this the warrant 50,643.82?
this
Okay,
is it.
do
This
I
is
have a
from-
motion to approve $50,643.82? You have to. Microphone.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve 50,643.82.
Do I have a second?
I second. I second.
And seconds. All in favor? Okay, now we need to transfer money.
I don't think, no,
No,
no.
we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Mike, thank you very much.
No problem.
Are you talking about the budget or is Jennifer?
I could start it, but I'd like Jennifer. to-
Okay, so why don't we just skip over for a second until she comes back? Oh, director's report. Okay, you know something, why don't we jump to Stephanie? Mr. Sarkis, she is, the foundation, leader, president. Oh, thank you, Mike.
I don't really have an update. Our last meeting was in June. We took July.
Closer.
We took July and August off. It's just really difficult to get everyone together during the summer months. We will be regrouping in September. But I don't really have any other updates.
Well, Stephanie did share with me that you were streamlining your request form for us to submit.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. So Jennifer will informally come to me and say, what does the foundation think about this? And I think in order to make it easier for you, because I know that's a very lengthy sort of package of information to put together and quite cumbersome. And I think our thought process is which we haven't finalized yet, but I think we'll have the library complete that form once a year and then have an addendum where it becomes a little bit more streamlined. And like, as if you're going to the doctor, has anything changed? No, great. Okay, skip to XYZ. And we're working on our long-term plan as well. But that was mostly the main material thing. I can't really remember what else I told you, but thank you.
No, you're welcome. So, and the other thing is besides streamlining how Jennifer asks for foundation money is that we talked about, and I think Jennifer's going to give us a report, what's happening. Clearly, issue here. And then
Acoustics.
I'm sorry.
Acoustics, yeah.
Yes, acoustics, yes. And then the second thing is, and I think John brought up a good point, and I think you and I have touched on it, is to get a feel for in your September meeting, what does everyone feel about the driveway, and would the foundation come up with a large chunk of change if we were to go forward? And that doesn't have to be answered now. I know you just represent your one vote, but that's something that I think that we would like the feel of before we kind of go the next step.
I have it earmarked here.
Yes, I know you do.
And I think, it's a full circle thing where we should have all the, see what the planning board thinks. And my understanding is you would be repaving and restriping regardless of what they say at some point or another, right?
Well, here's the problem. In order for me to have gotten 5 extra spots, I had to go in front of the planning board. When I did, unbeknownst to me, I was 3 off the bat because the fire truck that Jim Perry brought up here, the back, and I lost another spot with the turn radius. So now I'm really, if I was to strike this, I'm really only going for 2 spots. If the planning board doesn't want to see us to expand, I have to also ask the planning board, do I have to have architectural plans redrawn for 2 extra spots? Or can we just leave the driveway as it is? Can we work in the parameters and not have to go in front of the planning board? So it's, there's unknowns right now, right? I mean, if I have to go in front of the planning board and answer an engineer's report and everything for 2 extra spots, I'm gonna say, repeat what was. Right. And add the spots back where they were. Right. And that will be the end of that.
What is so if we go into the in front of the planning board and they say no change, status quo, then we will still go ahead and do the paving.
Well, we're gonna miss this year, unfortunately, because
Okay.
so we're probably gonna, because the meeting's September 28th, I'd be hard pressed. Whether I would feel responsible, start a cracking advisable after October 1st. So the reality is it's not gonna happen this year, the paving, no matter what.
Got it. Right.
It closes October 1st. To make formal everything for 2 extra spots, we have to come back here in October and see where this board stands. I can't.
So, but if nothing changes, the earliest that it will be different from what it is today is May.
Correct. Because we missed, the paving.
I think the more events we have, large scale events where people are having to commute, take the shuttle bus I think that's when you'll get the community on board to make, to attend these planning board meetings. So it might be in the interest of time, like waiting. I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
makes
I
sense.
agree.
Yeah.
Jennifer, we kind of skipped over you. Any other questions for Stephanie or any other questions?
Stephanie, I'd like to apologize that you showed up at the library last night for the meeting. I had it wrong in the minutes and then it got posted incorrectly, so I'm
It's
sorry.
on me. I should have double checked. No big deal.
No, I already groveled by text message. I said, I'm sorry about 3 times, 4 times. Well, thank you for attending. And, we like the foundation to attend all our meetings. So thank you very much. Okay, we're going to circle back. Jennifer, we're done with everything. The budget, it was Mike Lewis and you, but he wanted to wait for you. So if you guys want to do the budget, and I think Mike needs a microphone.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
All right, I'll start. First off, I want to give kudos to Jen. I think she did a great job putting this budget together. I think it's a responsible budget, obviously. You'll see that in the left-hand column, you have the tax levy is going to stay the same. We're not increasing that. One of the big changes that you'll see from the 2023 adopted budget is a full year's worth of cottage rental. And you see that the interest income is now more with what we have. Like I said, we already have 16,000. 10,000 is I think a conservative number because we don't know if we're going to go into a recession at some point. And then you have the passport income at 5,000 in that new line, which is really just a reallocation of the 5,000 that was in miscellaneous income. So that now properly aligns that. So you'll see that the total income is now 823,747 opposed to the 804,927. But again, no tax levy increase. So any questions on the revenue?
We have a slot for passport income, but I didn't see passport expenses.
Well,
At the last meeting, I believe it was decided that we would subtract the shipping charges from the income number. So all you'll see is a net number.
Oh, okay. So how many passports does 5,000 represent?
So we charge $35 for every passport and it costs $10 to send it. So we're going to net about 25 per.
Okay, thank you.
200. That would be 200. Yep. Just making sure. I've been doing budget all day, but at a bigger scale. So my it's conservative.
We didn't process about 4 of the 6 months of the fine income until this month. It all just built up and we didn't get
Okay.
to it. So 750, I think, is actually
Okay.
pretty accurate.
All right.
So I'm gonna let Jen go into a little bit more detail with the library services. But I mean, the one thing that I can say is the total proposed in total is 154,512, as opposed to the adopted 2023 budget of 117,950. You'll see, I think Jen can speak more to it. There's an increase for the adult programs. There's an increase for children's programs. And there's now an increase in the digital materials for the ebooks. So looking comparatively, that makes up the majority of the increase. So
Yeah, no, I mean, my suggestion is if anyone has questions, we ask questions rather than go line by line, because otherwise we're going to be here all night. Sorry.
And these proposed, on the far left, they're based on, year-to-date projections.
And conversations we've had month over month.
Yep. All right. And then you have the office G&A is pretty much relatively flat. 128,275. The adopted budget was 129,175. So just shifting a few things here and there, but again, I think pretty level.
Sorry, can I go back for a quick second? I just want to know if you got a chance to speak to Roxanne.
I did have an opportunity to speak to Roxanne and she's satisfied with the number that we suggest.
Okay, great. Sorry.
And just one quick question, because we went back and forth in terms of adult programs. We were talking about whether there should be a separate category for the one-offs as compared to the ongoing program, just so we have an idea how we're going to budget those programs in the future. I think I don't know whether that was ever resolved.
Understanding the question.
There's a section,
break
adult
it up?
programs, and that includes the ongoing programs that we have every month. And then we seem to use that line for the one-offs for the adult programs. So I think what happened this year is that the costs of the one-offs kind of offset what we were doing on an ongoing basis. So we had talked about having a separate line for the adult program one-offs, special projects or something like that.
Makes sense to me. I have no problem with that. Mike, can you add a line?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Adult, events.
So
Yeah.
work versus special.
Good. Yeah. And then it would be nice to have some kind of budget number, because then the board can work with that budget in terms of how to do those programs.
So as you can see from this breakdown, that's going to work out to 42,380 for annual recurring, and I'm sorry, 47,580 for annual, and then that'll put 12,420 towards specials. I think those are right on money.
Good start. Yes.
same situation with the children's program. I kind of color coded and sliced and diced every possible way. And this came down to the programming committee's decision whether proposal number one was to drop Kurt on the Friday afternoon program. That's where I said the cost went from 23,400 per year for music to 31,200. So if we kept going on the same trajectory as we have been, we're going to end up at 55,592 for children's programming. We had to make a cut. So I proposed dropping Kurt would be in both proposals. We could either drop STEM or we could drop having a vendor to run the art program. I just don't think that $75 towards a vendor to teach the toddlers to glue cotton balls onto paper plates is, you know, a $75 a session job. So I talked about it with Alan and we thought that the clerks could run that program. It just so happens that Hannah is going to be working on Fridays, which is when we're moving the art program too. So it doesn't compete with the all strings attached, no strings attached. And she's very enthusiastic about it. And we're both making Pinterest boards to come up with new art projects. So I think that's going to be really great. So I think whichever you choose to use, we're still under the 42,000 number that we budgeted for children's.
Yep. Okay.
By the way, does the programming committee decide to drop Kurt for the afternoon? Because we have people asking if they can use it for different programs.
That Kurt's second Friday afternoon one is going to probably go in either of those two situations. So yes, I would assume that we can go ahead with that. I don't know if we're making a decision on the other parts right now, but my choice would be for your second proposal, which is to do the art in-house. And if we can keep STEM for now, that would be favorable in my opinion.
Thank you.
How about now? Is there anything on here that you couldn't get or wish you had more or had to sacrifice, or are you good with what we have?
It ended up, I'm happy. It all worked out perfectly. And I was able to add a little bit more for advertising, which I was pleased about. I wanted to put more towards museum passes, and I've actually started a museum survey to all of the Westchester library systems. And so I've captured all that everyone has, what it costs. And I was thinking about either putting it towards your decision or opening it up to a survey in the community. Which passes would you like to see? And some of them are out of our reach, so $1,500 for MoMA, for example, down to, you know, add $60 to put the Bruce Museum, whatever. So I got a small increase towards the museum passes. And so I'm pleased with that. And yeah, so thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I guess we can move along. Is there any other questions for anything?
I had Heidi put the drill down for the other technology expense January through July in Dropbox. And it's things like, you know, our website designer, and we had upgrades part of the alarm system when we did the makeover, and things like subscriptions to MailChimp and that kind of thing. So you'll see them all there. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay, not to nitpick, but I have one other thing, which is just a general comment about the existence or non-existence of CDs and DVDs and things that play these devices anymore. And I'm always very surprised to see that there's still so much demand for them. So I don't know if there's, like, if you think that this is waning or if it will continue to be, because I do not have any devices that can play these things. So I don't know how we have so much demand for DVDs.
I will tell you, all other libraries, when you guys break out, it's a very high demand in all the libraries.
Wild.
Go figure.
So what I'm seeing is the demand for DVDs is actually continuing. The demand for CD audiobooks has dramatically dropped. We've had the two hottest titles, The King Solver and the Lessons in Chemistry, sitting on the checkout desk for weeks before they go out. So I am dramatically cutting the budget. I don't know that I'll buy anything. I think the community has finally embraced digital. And now that we've had to step up and start paying for the ebooks and the audiobooks that we weren't before, people are getting stuff quicker and I think they're using it more. I think we're getting a higher patron satisfaction. So I think it's money really well spent.
Maybe in our budget, we can ask for more microphones.
If we did get
Just
more
a suggestion.
microphones, no, we would have to get more of the stuff in the closet. So we're talking huge amount for every 2 microphones is going to cost us like $5,000.
Okay, forget it. It was just a wish list. We'll share.
I just have to chime in with this, because I actually think it's a matter of disability too, having CD and DVD available. Like, I think, yeah, I won't even go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, I think we should keep that as is.
We are. We're just going to cut it back. Cool. Anything else on the budget? Any other comments, Jennifer and Mike? Pretty self-explanatory. Any other questions? No? I think we should make a motion, or someone want to make a motion to adopt the budget of 2024.
Do we have to make any of the changes, like splitting out special programs or anything like that before that gets adopted?
We, because it's August, we have to adopt the budget tonight.
Okay, got it.
It can,
So the total,
Number
just-
will
just a
still be the same. Got it.
reallocation.
Yep.
we'll make the changes and then on the website, it'll have the new numbers.
Makes sense. Okay, got it.
If you want for the record, we're gonna, of the 42,000 in the children's programming, 36,855 would be for the reoccurring. The 5,065 would be for the, the one-time runoff. Set up a code for that. And then on the adult programs, 7,580 will be in the 8240 line. And the difference of 12,420 will be in a separate code for the one-offs, if you want to say.
Got it. Thank
But-
you.
No net budget impact on that.
I make a motion that we approve the budget as presented by Jennifer and Mike Lewis for 2024.
do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you very much, Mike and Jennifer, for the budget of 2024. Jennifer, you're going to have a director's report. You need to keep a microphone. Mike, you need a microphone, Jennifer, behind you. Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, we're going to go right into director's report. Jennifer?
It's going to be super short. Just give me a second. Okay, just an update on the fence repair is going to start next week. Trustee elections. We have one candidate and it's Anne. We're so thrilled that she's running again. Our elections coordinator is Hannah. And now that she has the names of the candidate, she can start ordering the ballots. Because it's only one person, I'm thinking we're going to get a very small turnout. So I told her 50 absentee ballots, 50 absentee envelopes, and 100 ballots. Does anyone have a difference of opinion as far as how many to order?
No, but I do have a question. And maybe this is in our booklet. How does it work with the election and one candidate? I mean, does there need to be an
Exactly
election?
like it works with
Got
with
it. You
many
still need it.
candidates.
Okay,
We have to go
thank
through-
you.
Jump through every hoop, so we will do that.
So Anne would like at least one vote. Maybe it's only be her own, but she'd like at least one vote.
And as Selena pointed out, it's going to be held on Tuesday, the 19th of September. Okay, and then I put your trustee education requirement certificates count of how much everyone has done so far. Just a reminder that you have until the end of the year to do 2 hours of training. The upcoming events are here on the slide, so give some thought to that. These are not the only ones that are acceptable. If you find one that you think would qualify, just send it to me and I'll get permission.
Yeah, Mike and I did one. We didn't submit it to you.
Okay.
So we'll update it.
Great. That's it for me.
Yeah, you
Thank you.
did one too. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's 2 hours. The fencing. Okay, great. Thank you. If anyone heard, the fencing that we approved last month will be done next week.
So Jennifer, I have a question about the trustee education. You sent us some upcoming courses. But are there other sources that we could go to for courses? Okay. Maybe you can send that out again. Because I think one is as late as December. I think there were only 2 upcoming ones.
Actually, the WLS has weekly conferences that you can tune into. So, Jennifer, you'll send out that link again? Yeah, yeah. There's weekly conferences. Okay.
And they also have older ones. They have archives of sessions. If you've missed them, you can actually watch them.
Okay, great.
If you watch them, does that count? Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
You just have
Yes.
to, you just have to tell
hope so.
Jennifer, you have to
Tonight.
fill out that form and tell Jennifer. I think some of us are missing on the website, so.
Oh, I sent you the form, my last form.
Yeah, send it to Jennifer.
Okay.
So she can give us credit. I know Mike and I and Jennifer, so we have to send it to Jennifer. Any other questions for director's report? No? Okay, gonna close out director's report. Public remarks. We heard from Stephanie. Any other public remarks? I can't see if there's anyone on the computer. Jennifer? No, just Marilyn. Okay, any other comments from public? Okay, I'm going to close out this meeting. Yes. And we're gonna go have a 1 minute or 2 minute break and go into executive session.